If you're anything like me or belong to the majority of people that start going to the gym, you need to bulk first. Before we start, my name is Himanshu. I help young men transform their lives through self-improvement. You're clearly interested in that, so scroll down below, hit the subscribe and the post notification bell, and you'll never miss any of my uploads again. So why do I say this? If you belong to the majority of people, you're either skinny or skinny fat. Now if you're overweight, that's all good. You can go ahead and start cutting. I'm targeting this video towards skinny fat young guys that get on self-improvement and start lifting weights. If you're skinny, it's a no-brainer to start bulking, right? And if you're overweight, it's a no-brainer to start cutting. The confusion comes in when a skinny fat guy comes into the gym and wants to build his 10 out of 10 dream body. He looks at his body and he feels weirdly fat. I say weirdly because a normal fat person would have fat all over his body, right? But a skinny fat person would have skinny arms and skinny legs and a relatively fat belly. So he therefore automatically thinks that I'm fat, so I need to cut. The thing is, you'd be wasting your time if you do this, because you're still not going to be happy with your body after you finish cutting as well, because you'll just be skinny without any muscle on. I doubt that that's what you want when you come into the gym. Now imagine the same person thought he looked weirdly fat, but he understood that he had no muscle on him whatsoever. So what does he do? He starts bulking, he starts eating more and lifting heavy. And guess what? He's gonna fill out those t-shirts that were oversized 6 months ago. I'm not saying that you will turn into a Greek god within 6 months, but I'm saying that you will actually fill out your frame and actually make gains. You'll still be quite chubby, but you can always start cutting once you're satisfied with the amount of muscle you gain. So while the other guy wasted all of his time cutting just to be skinny at the end, this guy was actually smart enough to know that size should be prioritized first. You just need to not be a dumbass and take that ego hit of being chubby for a while till you make gains so that you can cut later. Think about it, bro. You'll be in clothes 90% of the time, which means that you look good 90% of the time. The only time that you look bad is if you take all your clothes off. And it's only temporary as well. If your ego is so massive, then I'm sorry to say that you're a bit of a pussy and lifting weights isn't really for you. Because with lifting weights, you'll go through cycles of being shredded and being chubby multiple times. So if you can't take this first step of looking bad to look good in the future, then I'm sorry to say this isn't really for you. Lifting weights is all about delayed gratification. You're delaying the reward of building muscle and losing weight. If you can't adhere to that protocol, then you need to fix your mental health, and this video isn't for you. You most likely have depression if you want instant reward for the actions that you do or the habits that you perform. I will make another detailed video about how to get out of depression, and if you're that person that needs help, stay tuned. Anyway, I got sidetracked, so now let's jump into step-by-step method on how you should bulk. First, weigh yourself and know your height, and then type in TDE calculator on Google and click the first link that pops up. Then go on the calculator and fill out the details as accurately as possible, and from the number that you get, add 300 calories on top of that, because we're trying to bulk. Now go on the Play Store or on the App Store and search for the app MyFitnessPal and download it. This app will be a North Star when it comes to counting your calories. Now input all those calorie requirements onto MyFitnessPal and change the macronutrient split to 40% protein, 30% carbs, and 30% fat. This is the best macronutrient split I've seen work for me to gain muscle. Follow these calories as best as possible and you will see your weight go up in no time. You need to weigh yourself every week, and when you increase in weight by a kg, you need to add 100 calories on top of the calories that you're already eating. Follow this to a T and you will see your weight going up in no time. But your weight would just be fat gain if you don't lift weights the way I tell you to do. My way, and the only way that you should begin your lifting journey, is by sticking to compound exercises first to build your basic strength and stability. Now someone is going to say, but Himanshu, JPG coaching told me to Katana Extensions. Shut up, bro. Katana Extensions, my ass. You can't be doing exercises that require a lot of stability straight off the bat. You will simply get the form wrong. JPG coaching is recommending all these isolated exercises for consistent lifters, and you're still not consistent. So I recommend you do squats, bench press, and deadlifts to start off with. You will do only these 3 exercises for the next 3 months before you move on to a combination of isolated and compound movements. I recommend you do squats in a Smith machine as well. Now straight away you're just going to be like, but I can handle a free weight squat. Truth is, no you can't. And you literally get the form wrong as well. So take that ego hit and start with the Smith machine squat instead. And I recommend you drop your ego even further and do a Smith machine squat even after you get this form right. You're literally going to take the stabilizer muscles out of the movement when you do Smith machine squats. This allows you to get a better contraction in the muscles that you're actually trying to work. I also recommend you do a dumbbell bench press instead of a straight bar bench press, because it gives you a better contraction of the chest. But that's up to you. If you prefer a bench press over a dumbbell press, then that's up to you. So you'll do these for 3 months and then you transfer over to a combination of isolated and compound movements. Got it? Now, what are the specifics in terms of lifting that you must follow? Firstly, progressively overload, that is key. Progressive overload, if you didn't know, is when you progressively change your muscles to grow, either by increasing the weight that you lift, increasing the amount of reps that you do, increasing the amount of sets that you do, increasing the time under tension you keep yourself under when you do the exercise, or shortening the rest time. Don't be a pussy and do the same workouts over and over again because you're literally not going to grow. And the more you eat, the more fat that you put on and the less muscle that you put on because you're not increasing the intensity constantly. But you can literally increase anything out of the things that I mentioned, and you can increase it by a minuscule amount and it will still be progress. Because over a long period of time, it will add up to give you a compound effect, which literally means muscle gain. You have to record everything though, and that's the most practical way to make progress. The app that I recommend that you record all your workouts on is called Strong. The amount of sets that I recommend you do is 4 per exercise. That's what I've seen work best for me, and if you're anything like me, it'll work fine for you as well. And if you're nothing like me, chances are it'll work the same for you as well. I feel like 5 is a bit too much and you're overstressing the muscles at that point, but I feel like 3 is not too much and it's not that intense either, so I recommend you go 4 instead. The amount of reps that I recommend you do need to be in the hypertrophy rep range, which means the muscle building rep range, which is between 6 and 30. You'd usually want to go between 6 and 12 reps for your bigger muscle groups like your back and chest, and you'd want to go between 12 and 30 reps for your smaller muscle groups like your biceps and triceps. The reason I say this is because smaller muscle groups usually grow with volume instead of weight compared to bigger muscle groups. You can only overload smaller muscle groups with so much weight until it becomes too much. You then have to overload it with reps instead. Now straight away your ego is going to say that you can lift more weight, but you can't. You will literally start ego lifting and you will get the form wrong on the way as well. And you will be more prone to injury as well. You always think that you're the exception when it comes to injuries. But trust me, in the long term or in the short term, it's going to get you either way. So lower your ego and know that you can't do 20 kg lateral raises and instead focus on other progressive overload methods instead. Also, one more thing about nutrition that I missed was that you need to get enough protein in. And also, don't substitute your whole protein intake with protein powder, you dumbass bro. But Himanshu, I'm a busy man and I don't have enough time to cook real animal protein. Just shut up, bro. If it's important enough to you, you'll make time for it. And trust me, this shit isn't for you if you have that mindset. So make sure you stick to that protein goal of 40% and never miss a day. You must only use protein powder if you fall short of your protein goal for the day. Say you're 20 to 30 grams off your protein goal for the day. Then you can supplement it with protein powder and not substitute your whole diet for it, dumbass. Anyway, follow this plan to a T and you will see results. If you have any more questions, leave it down in the comment section below and I'll answer it for you. Peace.